or who might not be able to make it. So welcome everybody. I'm just going to say welcome one more time as we start the recording. And I'm just going to start off with introductions. And like I said, 3 to 5 minutes max each person, and then we'll get into the rest of the event program. So Rhonda Straw, I'm going to start with you. Go ahead.
Okay, let me unmute myself.
You're unmuted. I unmuted you.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Hi, I'm Rhonda. I've been doing this for a while. I don't know how long.
Several
couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah. And I try and go out to Green Valley probably several times a year. I get a whole lot out of it. It's kind of cool when we make connections and look up in the sky and she's like, oh, look, there's one. And that is so cool. And I enjoyed the channeling, and just any time to just broaden my skills or my contact. And also enjoy all of you.
Aw, well, we
and I miss you all in person. I really do.
I know I miss everybody really badly, and especially today. I'm like, oh my God, this would have been the perfect night to be out.
It would have been
under the stars together. It's warm, it's clear, but maybe we'll get this when it's time. So
maybe something cool will happen tonight.
Well, I know that something cool is going to happen because we're intending it right now. Okay. Well, thanks, Rhonda. Yeah. And thanks for being with us all this time and sharing your energy with us. So you go ahead and mute yourself, and Kelly, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. I'm Kelly. I've been doing this for, I don't know how long. I guess my background has not directly been with CE5, but it took a very direct push about, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, something like that. I think this is just a really wonderful group that we have here in Kansas City. And it's just a lot of really wonderful things have happened. I've seen a lot of wonderful things experienced, and I'm very grateful that it has been with such a wonderful group of people. And I just really look forward to this all the time.
Aw, thank you, Kelly. And, you know, part of Kelly's background is very spiritual and sacred in nature. And she's going to be part of our event tonight. She's going to be offering what we call the puja. For people who are yogis, you might know what a puja is. It's, you know, it's kind of an offering or a ritual that you do at the beginning of an event to invoke
Spirit.
The goodness. Yeah, the goodness of life to come in and join you and so forth. And it sets the energy for the thing. So I'll introduce more of what you're going to do in a little bit, Kelly, but she's volunteered to do that tonight. And for those of you who are new to our group, we really do like for as many of the members to, you know, participate in contributing to part of the evening's events when possible, and we rotate them around. And so this isn't a one trick pony person show. This is definitely, we want this to be something that all of you feel like if you want to be really involved in helping to bring the energy about, or to help people understand more about this process, you know, you can always just message me and say, hey, I have an idea of something we can do. I can offer next time or whatever, and we'll do that. So thanks, Kelly. And you can mute yourself, and then Ray, unmute yourself and go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Ray, and 2011, I started spontaneously astral traveling and having out-of-body experience. Sort of started my wake-up process, and that led through 2012, learning about near-death experiences. Learn more, and then I guess I could treat guys of body experiences knowing that we are spirit and we're infinite and immortal and eternal, really catapulted me into all of this over the last several years. And so then in 2015, I started experiencing and remembering experiencing multidimensionality when I had an encounter and a little experience with Archangel Michael. And so then in 2015, I met Craig Campobasso. He gave a presentation about Valiant Thor, and that started me having experiences and traveling around with Valiant Thor with his crew. And so that's been leading up to hopefully here soon, when we get all the technical details worked out with the stereo and the Zoom compression and being able to broadcast beats, if I can get it to work, I'd like to lead a separate, not on our normal CE5 night, but a separate night, because I don't want to interfere with Debz's stuff. Lead a meditation where I can demonstrate and show everybody how to OBE on, and so you can actually be there and experience them and talk with them and interact with them, because usually I travel around with Valiant Thor, but so that's expanding into more things. So you may have seen I posted about on April 11th, I had an OBE experience where, we're all houses, and I said, I'm going to try to interact.
Hey,
I posted
Ray,
that. If you
I'm sorry to interrupt,
11th, you'll
your
see
signal really cutting in and out. It's real
I
weird.
actually met somebody and found them doing a search.
Ray, he's frozen up.
I show full signal strength on
It's so
my Wi-Fi.
It's probably just
so
the energy. Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
So you can't hear me at all now?
Well, no, I hear you. It's just freezing up a whole lot. So I don't know that people are getting everything, but it may come out in the recording. But it's just, I think we just have a lot of energy going on. This happens sometimes, guys, so just be patient. So go ahead and just continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you. And we don't have your video at all either, Ray. And he's gone. Wow, that's bizarre. We lost him all the way. Well, I tell you what, we'll move on. He may have left and then be trying to reestablish. Ray, are you there now?
I'm here. That maybe the powers that be out there didn't want me to talk about all this stuff. They kind of, well, I'm just kidding. But so I don't know how much of that you heard, but so I guess I can post something in the chat later with what I was saying. But anyway, the most important thing that I wanted to say was I want to have a separate meditation night so I don't interfere with Debz's stuff, where I can actually show you and demonstrate within the meditation of, I don't know if you heard about me saying back in 2015, I started interacting with Valiant Thor and his crew. So lately what I'm doing is OBEs onto, and so I want to show you how to do that, and maybe that'll launch you into, so I'll just shut up.
It's okay. If you guys didn't understand what he was saying, he's, many of us are doing some excellent research, and I didn't know Ray was doing it on his own, and I'm doing mine with a team where we're combining out-of-body experience practice with making contact. And one of his main guides is called Valiant Thor, who is a very famous ET being and guide that he has met up with and has all kinds of adventures with. But what he was saying is, once we get all of the sound issues done on Zoom, because you can't broadcast music and voice at the same time without it causing a bunch of dissonance. But we are trying to get it fixed. I had it going really well today, but it doesn't seem to be working now. But anyway, once we get that, Ray is going to host a special event for our group where he's composed a musical piece with binaural beats, which help get you into the right brainwave pattern. He might use binaural beats. I'm not sure this time if he will or not. But his guided meditation will help get you into that out-of-body experience where you can make contact with an ET guide or another type of high-level being. Was that okay, Ray? I just think maybe we're being screwed with a little bit. I had that problem last week when I had my mass meditation thing going on. So
yeah, that's pretty much it. So you will actually be on their ship. You will actually go to them. Yep. And so you talk about ultimate contact, not just trying to wait for seeing a light in the sky or waiting for one of them to send you a message or something. You actually be there live in their presence with them. And believe me, I mean.
And you're frozen again. Sorry, buddy. We can't hear you. You're just a frozen picture in the outer space. Oh, goodness. They really don't want you to talk about this, whoever it is. Well, anyway, we'll move on. Matthew Perky, do you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hey. So, yeah, I'm on the group, or in the group on Facebook. My name's actually Todd on there. That's not my real name.
Totally cool.
Yeah. I don't take myself very seriously on Facebook. So, yeah, so I'm in that group. I just started doing this. I just learned about it through the new movie that came out with Dr. Greer. And I've been interested in UFOs for years and had no idea really there was any sort of contact method. But I've always been interested in, quantum physics. And I just thought it's a really interesting subject. I had that contact the other day that, or I guess the sighting. I mean,
it was contact.
It's all really new to me. I guess it wasn't. Is that what it's called? Yeah, everything's new.
Yeah.
Technology.
And experience. I thought it was very good, and thank you for sharing it.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that yet, he had a good post about his contact, and it was a daytime sighting too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I wish I had better video of it, but I'll have my camera out there next time. So.
Yeah. So do you prefer to be called Matthew, Matt, or Todd?
Matt's fine.
Okay, Matt. Thanks. And I loved it. I love your pseudonym on there. That's great. Did you have anything else you wanted to share before we move on?
No.
Well, thank you for joining the group. We're really pleased that you're here. So pleased that you watched the movie and got all psyched up about it. That's what it was for.
Thanks.
And yeah, hopefully we can really help you, expand the horizon of your awareness in this subject, and which expands everything in your life once you do. So it just affects everything, and that's great. So quantum physics buffs all around in this group. You'll love it. Jennifer, you want to go ahead and say hi and introduce yourself, unmute yourself?
There we go.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. So basically, ever since I was a little kid, I had various psychic experiences. And I took your starseed activation class at the Council of Light Center was like 7 or 8 years ago. And since then, I moved closer to KC. So now I'm able to actually get out and, you know, meet when we can meet. Yeah, but I spent a couple of years having some more babies, and my youngest is 2 now, so
wow,
don't feel as guilty, you know, leaving the house to go meet with you guys.
play
So,
with us out in the wilderness.
yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. And we have had some pretty cool experiences together over the years, and especially recently, it's been really fun. So I'm
Yes.
glad you're here, and glad your hubby comes with you sometimes, and it's been great.
We got the new chairs. They're coming from the UK, so it's probably going to take a while, but
Probably will, but they'll get here eventually. I know my dear friend Linda, some of you may see her in the CE5 groups on Facebook. She goes by Linda Aurora Ha, and she's another like top level CE5 person, Greer person, and so forth. But my birthday was March 26th. Because she lives in the Netherlands, she's bought my birthday presents and sent them to me like 3 weeks early, and I got them, I think it was last week. So thank you, pandemic. You know, it comes slowly anyway from there, but oh my gosh. And she kept writing, she's like, did it ever come? No. And then one day it all came, and it was so sweet. But so your chairs will get here, but just hang in there. They'll probably get here in perfect
yet, but
they'll get here in perfect timing for us. So, well, thanks, Jennifer, and we're so glad to have you. Thanks. So, Mendy Shakti, you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Mendy, and I live out in Green Valley. And so I met Debz a couple years ago at the Council of Light Center and did lots of really insightful work that I feel like it almost took me a couple years to really digest. I've really followed the path of yoga and studying Sanskrit, and nobody around me really has ever been influencing me to do that. So I feel like whenever, I don't know, like I heard Dr. Greer talking about like how chanting Sanskrit mantras kind of helps to become more in alignment with that. I just kind of felt like that was kind of a weird, like self-guided healing that I've just been super excited about connecting, with other people.
That's so awesome.
I've had a lot of just sightings, I guess, but I've never really had what I know to be like actual initiated contact from myself. So I feel like after watching the documentary, just like super inspired to get back into that again.
Awesome. Well, you know what contact feels like from having sightings, and the fact that you've become a avid yogi and a student of Sanskrit, that will help too. Sanskrit and chanting and mantra are just one really great, I mean, there are many technologies, there are many tributarial paths to the same thing, which is source, basically. And to make contact with these high-level beings, mantra is one of them. Greer started out as a yogi with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And so he lived at that ashram for years and meditated, 24/7 and chanted and all of that. And so it brought about, he had contact when he was a child, he had a near-death experience when he was younger. And then when he became a yogi and started getting really entrenched in this, he started having contact, and it brought back the contact of his youth. And he realized that the mantras were helping him kind of tune his inner antenna to the frequency of the ETs, of these beings. So we love to use mantra we use a lot of different technologies, especially when we're in the field. Some of these veterans can tell you sometimes we'll drum, sometimes we'll chant. We always do some kind of a puja or an invocation like Kelly's getting ready to do. We do many things to attune ourselves. So, you know, maybe you can volunteer to lead a chanting or a chant or a mantra, you know, soon. That would be great, you know.
Yeah, that would be really powerful. I've definitely been trying to digest how I can integrate all my skills that I've learned over the years and just kind of apply them in these aspects. It's almost like putting a puzzle together where it all just kind of makes sense, where it's like build community around it and go. Because I feel like Dr. Greer and like I don't usually get choked up, but like I cried 2 whole times during that documentary, just because I felt so in tune with what it feels like to just kind of, I don't know, like not know how to, just like acknowledge the authority of the government and being in that position where it's like cut off, where you can't have access to this, you know, like our brothers and sisters, our ancestors, they are like in a lot of aspects, they are us.
They are us.
And then, it was nice to kind of feel like that block move out of me to where I can like move past it. Yeah.
It's so fantastic. That movie, if you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend it. There are like 6 or 7 coming out this year. I was supposed to be in that movie, by the way. And,
wow.
And there were a lot of all the people at the end with all those contact experiences and the interviews, they're all my friends. They're the people I travel with and lead these trainings with and do the research with. So, but my little piece got cut and I was supposed to go into a larger piece and I couldn't travel at the time. So they just said, whatever. So you'll see a lot of those people in a lot of the movies that are coming out in the next few months. And hopefully, if I don't get cut out of some of the rest of them, you'll see me too. But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter so much. It's just that I want to tell you from personal experience, those are real people. They weren't paid actors. Some of them are my best friends. And some of them, I was there when they had the experiences they're describing. We had them together. So that, it talked about bawling in the middle of a movie. Just like, because we waited for a long time for it to come together. And in fact, when it was supposed to premiere in Hollywood in April, I was supposed to be there. And we were supposed to film the 3rd segment of this group of movies. This one kind of is the 3rd of his disclosure movies, if you will. But that last part is bringing up the CE5 part, the real stuff that we do, and letting go, you know, finally moving away from who did what to us and why we're so, you know, why we haven't gotten further. And now we're going to go into all these contact things. We're supposed to film another segment there after the premiere. And of course, then the travel ban happened, the pandemic and all that. So everybody just got together and he said, you know what? Screw this. We're just going to launch it anyway, because it has to come out. So I'm so happy you watched it. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and it's well worth the whatever, $10 to watch it. It'll eventually be free, but right now they have to pay the cost. So thanks so much. And I'm going to mute you and we'll go to, now are there 2 Jennifers here? Is that Jennifer Booker that I see?
It is. It's me.
Hi.
Hi. I'll try to put video.
Oh, it's okay. And you can if you want. We'd love to see you. This is just kind of introduction, 3 to 5 minutes. Say who you are and why you're here.
So I've known Debz for years and years now. I used to live in Kansas City. But this past year, we reconnected. I think it's been since last year. And you've invited me to join the group, and I've joined every time, and I love it. I just wanted, it was really in my dream board this year to grow spiritually. So I just enjoy doing this, and that's what why I'm here.
Oh, thank you, Jen. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad you're here. And by the way, Jen's kids get
Yeah.
involved in this work. And I wish you still lived here because
I do
it
too.
would be so much fun to have you with us. But unfortunately, where we usually go, there's really very little signal. So we can't Zoom when we do go out there.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, who knows? Everything's kind of up in the air right now, but we're doing what we can, how we can. And
Exactly.
and we always do record audio, at least when we go out in the field. So if you can't be there live, at least you can listen to what happened and join in non-locally afterwards and
Yeah.
still get that feeling state. So,
Okay.
well, thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks.
Okay. And then is it Catherine, or do you go by Kathy, Catherine, Katie, Han? You can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm having Zoom problems. You can call me Kathy.
Okay, excellent. And Kathy's new to our group too, so welcome.
Thank you. Yes, I'm new. I'm all ears. I'm practicing meditation now. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at anything about this, but I want to learn. And I feel like I have an appetite for this now. And especially after I saw the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind and watched a lot of Dr. Greer's movies on YouTube. So I know nothing, and I'm just here to learn.
Well, we're glad you're here, and I'm so glad that you found us.
Me too.
It's and it'll be really fun when we can get together in person out under the stars. But again, I just want to reiterate, we should stay totally open to what it is, what it looks like, and when and where it happens. I've had constant contact my whole life, and sometimes I can be in the bathtub and I have it, and it'll be like a little orb floating around in the air around me. Or I can be, in a lucid dream and ET beings surround me and, teach me or heal me. We can be out under the stars and seeing lights in the sky and all kinds of crazy stuff happening, and it happens a lot with us. And yet there's also ground contact. Look for things that you wouldn't normally be open to, but now we want you to really open up all of your sensory perception to realize, ooh, the temperature just really dropped, or it got really hot all at once, or what is that mist over here where there's no chance of fog in my room? What is that smoke going on over here? Ray's a good one for that. What are those scintillating little red and white lights over there in the bushes? All of a sudden owls start hooting everywhere, or coyotes where you've never heard them before. Stay open. You may feel a touch on your shoulder. You might feel a pressure on your leg. One of my dear friends, Hollis Polk, who leads large retreats with her husband, Costa McCrease, who hosts kind of the other big contingency for human initiated contact called ET Let's Talk. Hollis one time was in circle with us, and she said in a whisper, someone just sat on my lap and it feels like a small child. And it sat there all night long with her, and she literally felt warmth and felt arms around her. And none of us could see anything, but we took a lot of pictures in the dark. And when we finally got home, looked at all the pictures, there's like a little reddish orange blur in front of her body where someone would be sitting on her lap. So, just stay open, everyone. You might see things, and particularly tonight, once we get into the silent meditation part, and I'll go into that in just a little bit, but feel free if you want to go out under the stars, because it's beautiful here. Those of you who are local, if you want to take that time to go out and look up or look around, stay in your meditative state, you can do that. And I'll give you a time frame to come back if you want to. But for those of you who are staying in the house, be open. You may hear voices, you may hear sounds, you may feel things, all kinds of things. Okay? So Kathy, thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to let you know all kinds of
Thank
stuff can
you.
happen. and we're so happy you're here.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you.
Great. And then let's see, we've got Carrie. Carrie, you're
Yep.
up, my dear.
Okay, can you hear me?
We hear you.
Okay. My name's Carrie. I live out here in the Ozark Mountains, like Deb said, out in a tiny house on a peninsula, on a great big lake. I live in a very spiritual place. My aunt lives about a quarter mile down the road, and she does Native American retreats. And as a matter of fact, she's holding a women's retreat this weekend. Right down the road. So we've got a lot of energy going on here. I met Deb through a writer friend of mine at the beginning of what I didn't know then was to be a very turning point in my life. I was experiencing some physical challenges, and then about a year and a half later, my husband died suddenly. And then I had started on the spiritual journey. I was working with Deb and was having all kinds of experiences that I didn't understand. And since my husband's passed, I have had a lot of experiences. I ask for signs, and I get them all the time. And just one of the many I'll share with you is that one night I was feeling very lonely and heartbroken, of course, and I went out, and as I often do out here, because I can see the stars, they're brilliant out here in the middle of nowhere, and the Milky Way. And I looked up and I said, "Which one are you, babe?" And all of a sudden a shooting star shot across the sky right above my house. It was magnificent, and I have been able to journey to not only speak and meet with him, thanks to the book "Where Did You Go?", which is about crossing the veil and not waiting for them to initiate contact with us, but us to initiate contact. And I've had a lot of great experiences, not just with him, but with other people that have passed on and my ancestors. So anyway, I don't know anything about what's going on tonight, and I'm here to learn, and I'm really glad to be here and among this great energy.
No, thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. And Carrie is a writer as well, and she's a very prolific writer, and she's got a really cool book out there. And so basically each one of you has really cool gifts, cool backgrounds, interesting stories to share. I hope that you will use our group page after this to kind of share more about yourselves and tell a little bit of your story. And if you do have cool experiences that you want people to know about, or you have something happen tonight and you're so gobsmacked that you're processing and you can't talk, but you want to talk about it, 3 days from now, post that stuff. We really love it. And it helps us all to grow every time you share something about yourself. So, so thanks so much. And Carrie, welcome. Thanks so much for sharing your story. And
thank you for having me.
And almost all of you know who I am, so I'm not going to gab about myself. I just, I love this work. I've always had contact. I thought everybody did. I thought everybody, had lived in different layers of dimensionality. I didn't know how to talk about that when I was a kid, but, I've always had a multi-dimensional life. And so, it's been wonderful to be able to, I had some very profound contact experiences when I was a young child. and am only now just really processing those types of things. But what I realize is these beings have always been with me, and I believe they have always been with all of us. And they tell me, especially the ones I channel, especially the ones who we call the star teachers, they literally just say they're us on a higher level frequency. And that doesn't make them better than us. It makes them maybe more evolved. They say they're us, having overcome some of the obstacles that we are facing right now. And they are here to tell us that we succeed, and that we are living much greater, finer, more delightful lives on this other frequency and above than we are here. And so they're just kind of trying to, they and other ET civilizations are trying to reach through the cosmic soup, as my friend Jeremy Cloak says. He was in that movie too. He was the New Zealander, by the way. He calls it the cosmic soup, and they just kind of go like this and swim through the cosmic soup and say, hey, we're here, and you see a light in the sky. Or, you know, they're feeling compassion for you, and you say, gosh, I'm really lonely, and you look up and you see, and you say, please let me know you're there, and you see boom, 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 you know, a signal. And if you're like me, you know, and not too afraid to use your laser pointer or something, and you signal back, you know, 3 or 4 times, and then it signals back 3 or 4 times too, you know, that ain't a star, right? So they don't really care what you call them. They've always been here. They always will be here. They are our ancestors. They say we're their ancestors. It doesn't matter. But the main part of this work is to make contact with them so that we can gain more knowledge from them, so that we can do the things we need to do to move ourselves forward and up out of this drudgery, I guess, that we are living in right now, and the fearful, the negative duality kind of aspects. So that's why we make contact. Plus, it's just fun and cool. It feels really great to know that you are actually communicating with something other than flesh and blood human, you know, although some of them take on that form. So anyway, that's me. I got interested in contact work and teaching and talking about it a long, long time ago. I've been aware of and following Dr. Greer's work since the mid-90s, but I didn't get really involved till, I don't know, probably 15 years ago. Kind of started being like a groupie, and then there were some things that happened in the contact community where there were some split offs, and that's really sad. But you know, that happens when you get a large organized group of people. What's happening now is there are many factions of the contact community out there all over the world, and everybody's really starting to realize, even though most of the stuff that all of us do really works, what really needs to happen is everybody needs to become a community and accept each other's differences, or we're never going to move forward to live the way the rest of the cosmos is living. You know, if we can't be friends and respectful of each other on this planet and get along in a, you know, a peaceful, harmonious way, nobody's going to step forward to, you know, say, give us a hand up to join that faction, because, you know, we're still kind of dangerous children as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, yeah, so the formal work started as the Contact Starseed group many years ago, and then we did some stuff at Council of Light with that. Some of you mentioned that, and then formally started this group. I don't even know how many years ago now, but some of the people you're seeing here on the screen have been with us ever since then. So we're going to stop talking, and then we're going to have Kelly offer the puja, which should kind of get us back into this mindset of meditation. And then after that, Ray's going to play his special drum, which is just amazing and gets you into a certain brainwave state so that you can kind of fine tune that antenna. And then I'm going to lead a little guided meditation or coherent thought sequence, similar to something Dr. Greer has done. And we all put our different flavor and signature on it, and it always, always works. And after that, we will just segue into silent meditation. And that's when you have your experiences. So stay open. And like I said, you can either stay inside if you're inside and just take note of what's happening and just be really open, or you can go out. By that time it should start to get dark. Even if it's not dark, just if you want to go outside, we will. And we'll take 25-30 minutes depending on how much time we have to do that. And then we'll come back, we'll share our experiences or our impressions, and then we'll take a little comfort break. But before we get started with puja, does anyone need to take a little pee break or anything right now? Because we want you to be cool as we go into all this. Everybody good? Well, Kelly, I think it's time for you to take it away.
All right. So I'm sorry if any of this seems strange. I know some of you all have experienced this before, some have not. Basically, the whole concept is giving energy from yourself to yourself in the form of a higher being, like giving it to yourself on a higher platform. I've learned this spending a couple of decades in an ashram, and it just really translates well. Everything Debz says, by the way, and everything that's come out and everything CE5 is in the beta, so I have no qualms with it, and that's why I'm kind of doing this. So I kind of changed it up a little bit from the normal traditional one. I'm mostly just going to do the elements, the earth, air, fire, water symbology, which is pretty common anyway. So while we're doing that, you're just kind of offering those energies of yourself up with it. The picture I will be using is of the Panchatattva avatars, which are higher selves, higher beings that have come down on the earth. And there's a lot of text on that. I'll talk about them another time, but that's what that is. I just don't want anybody to be shocked, the newbies. So we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll just go ahead and let me see if I can get this down. I have a little setup here. Let me see here. I tried doing this earlier, see what I can do. So we'll start doing the elements. And the first thing that I offer is incense, which kind of symbolizes air, but it also makes a nice pleasing environment for contact. So we do that, and you all should at the same time be making your space nice for them while simultaneously offering your good intentions to higher selves. So that way they feel welcome. And then usually I use ghee lamp, but I've gone plant-based. So I'm just going to use a candle. I use a yellow one because it's a joyful color and it offers home. So it represents fire, the fire energies and elements. Kind of like when someone comes into your home, you might offer them a drink of water, make sure they're warm enough or something like that. You want to kind of keep, we're just being very hospitable to them. We're offering it to them so that way they're comfortable and happy and more welcoming. Next, we'll offer some water. Our water energies. We'll offer, I have some nice, lovely dried rosebuds. They smell very nice. I'll burn them later to keep the environment nice. I chose these instead of using fresh flowers because I'll burn these and it really helps with meditation. And this represents earth, our earth energies. And then lastly, I'm going to offer some kunkun in representation of spirit or ether. It's kind of a reddish powder. As you can see, so we're going to be offering our spirit and our love and just really try to find our spirits with theirs. And friendship, love, and understanding. In a very grateful mood and a mood of gratitude and one of a seeking wisdom and being open to teaching and to learning. This one right here in the middle, by the way, that's Sri Chaitanya avatar. He appeared in Bangladesh 500 years ago. 7.5 feet tall, golden color, and his hands were a third of the size of his body. So you can't tell me that wasn't ET. Thank you all very much for offering up with me, and I appreciate it. Debz, you gotta unmute yourself, love.
Kelly, were you silently reciting mantra while you were doing that puja?
I was, and I was also giving some verbal, but I was using various mantras. They're really long. I can type them up into the group and translate them from Sanskrit to English. I've had, you know, I'm 36. I just had a birthday, and but you know, since I was 15, I was, you know, been kind of pushed into learning Sanskrit. So yeah, I'll translate that for you guys if you guys are interested in those mantras.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wondered which ones, you know, I'm pretty familiar with what you were doing, but I know some people weren't. And I know Mendy Shakti is probably really interested in what you were reciting too.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely. I will be more than happy to speak with her about that. And the biggest intention is that it comes from inside, just like Dr. Greer says in the video. It comes from love and your intention, and that putting that in and using something that's tangible in this particular dimension sometimes helps focus our spirit and our energy towards them to get their attention and to really bring the energy around. So as you guys also had that mood with me while we were doing that, it brings your guys' room into a nice level of frequency and gives a welcoming environment for contact.
Great. Thank you so much. It was
Thank
beautiful. Your environment's gorgeous, by the way. That space.
My office.
Lovely.
Well, you guys, when things are back to normal-ish, you guys are all welcome to come hang out in my meditation cave anytime you all want.
Love it. Thank you so much. And thanks for the puja.
Thank you.
Namaste. And so what we're going to do now, I'm going to make sure everyone is muted, and then we're going to have Ray come on. And Ray, I can't remember how to pronounce the name of that drum, but.
Well, it's called, and now I'm getting a indication here, my internet connection is unstable. I don't know why. So we'll try this.
So yeah.
So this drum is called a moyo drum. It's sort of like those Hong drums that cost $2,000, but this one only costed $200, but it's good enough.
It's beautiful.
So we'll try this.
It's shaped like a flying saucer.
Yes. So can you hear that?
Yes. So I would encourage everybody, if you want, to just close your eyes and maybe even take your turn your video off. That might help with his signal. I don't know. I'm going to turn my video off from me. You don't have, if you want to, you can, Ray, but let's try that.
Yeah, that
Sometimes
might help
that helps
my
with the signal. Yeah. So if you don't know how to start and stop your video, look for the little video camera icon and just touch it or click on it, and it should take your video off. There you go. And we'll come back on in a little bit, but we don't need video right now. So if you'll turn your video off, that might help Ray's signal. Go ahead, Ray. Thank you.
So everybody just breathe deeply, and it might help if what I'm about to say makes sense. Collapse your consciousness down into your heart center, your heart chakra, if that means anything to you, or just think of yourself as being in the middle of your body, in the middle of your heart. And breathe deeply and meditate and think of experiences where petting a puppy or a kitty or some sort of experience where you feel a deep feeling of love. As you're in your heart center, just generate that feeling of love. Petting a puppy or a horse, or if you have kids, holding your kids, hugging your kids, anything that can help you feel expanding in love. And we'll start the music.
thank you so much, Ray. I really appreciate that. And I hope that everyone else really went to a nice place of quietude and peace within their hearts. What Ray said was a beautiful segue into part of the meditation that we're going to do now. So please do stay quiet. I invite you all to really get comfortable now and to allow yourselves to close your eyes, to take a few deep breaths with me. And as you inhale, breathe in peace and contentment and gratitude. And then as you exhale, allow yourself to release any tension or negative feelings that maybe you carried in with you. Think of it as shaking dust off of your shoes when you come in the house. When you breathe in again, just allow yourself a feeling of deep peace, of pulling in love, of feeling all of the beautiful feelings that you've connected with in your life. As Ray said, hugging a child, petting a puppy, watching a beautiful sunrise or sunset, looking at the stars. Just let yourself really go to a place of high feeling. The feeling state is everything. If the bridge between the human body and the human mind and cosmic consciousness is the breath, the feeling state is the launching pad to become vastly more self-aware. The higher and finer the feeling state, the more connected you will become to that cosmic consciousness. It is something that is all of our birthright. It is not something that only a few people have the opportunity to connect with. We always have the opportunity to connect with cosmic consciousness. And so I would say, with each deep breath now that you take in, allow yourself to expand. Feel your body expand. Feel your belly expand, your lungs. And as you exhale, feel that expansion continue, but feel lighter, as if you're dropping heavy weights to the ground and you're lifting off in a hot air balloon. And as you breathe in, more expansion, more light. Feel your heart open. And as you exhale, send out forgiveness to any and all beings who may have hurt or harmed you, or anyone or anything at any time in any way, even unknowingly or consciously. Breathe in love. Exhale and release anything that no longer serves you and the highest good. And as you continue to breathe deeply and allow these things to naturally occur, envision now your spine, whether you're seated or resting in a reclining position. See your spine getting very long and straight from the crown of your head to the tip of your tailbone. And then allow your tailbone in your mind's eye to unfurl like a long lizard's tail. And let it just seek out the ground beneath you, whether you're in a building or not. Just let it penetrate whatever is beneath you and begin to break through easily and effortlessly through the ground. Going through all the layers of silt and sand, the different geologic layers of the Earth's crust, and deeper. And as your tail continues to lengthen and unfurl and move easily through all the layers of the Earth, you might even notice as you pass by the different eras, the epochs of the Earth's history in fossil form or in layers. The deeper you go, the better you feel. You begin to feel more rooted to your planet, to Mother Gaia. You feel such gratitude to be here on this beautiful paradise that is Earth. And your tail continues to move down, down, downward until it breaks through the core of the Earth. And your tail becomes almost like a periscope, and you see an enormous bright crystal, which is the heart of Mother Gaia. And you lovingly embrace that heart with your tail. Wrap it around this beautiful crystal heart and feel the pulsing of this divine mother energy. And with your next breath in, pull some of that energy up through the tube of your tail and up into your pelvis, and see that it is a red, rich red light, liquid crystalline light, pouring into your pelvis, down your legs, into your ankles, feet, and toes. Feel that deep red energy and allow yourself to feel the statement, the affirmation, I am here. I am here. And as you exhale, release anything that doesn't keep you present, that takes your attention away from the present moment. And feel a clearing and a healing in the areas of the body that we just described. And then allow the tail to sense a different frequency from the heart of Mother Gaia and pull up a beautiful, vibrant orange light through the tube of the tail, up through the pelvis, blending with that red energy and streaming around in the lower belly, the lower back, the lowest part of the belly, all of the sexual organs, the pleasure centers of the human being, the creative center. And the affirmation here is, I am safe. And not only I am safe, but I am creative. I am the creator. And with each exhalation, you see that orange light blending with the red, and you feel healing and balancing happening in all of the areas of the lower belly, lower back. And there's a vibration there. It feels warm, tingly, almost like a pleasure sensation. And then the next pulse of energy takes on a bright yellow hue of light, and you pull that up through the tail, and it comes up into the midsection, the belly, the solar plexus, the mid-back, and you feel a vibrant energy here. And the affirmation here is, I am powerful. I am powerful. And as you exhale, you realize that that affirmation doesn't mean I am conqueror of all things and I'm a dictator. It means I am empowered. I empower myself to create and to be here now. Feel the vibrancy of that energy, and as you do, you feel another pulse of energy coming from Mother's heart, and you pull a bright green light up into your heart center, into the chest, into the lungs, into the ribs, into the upper back, into the shoulders, down the arms, the wrists, the hands and fingers, all green, vibrating. I am love. I am whole. Again, let those love memories come into your heart, into your consciousness. Feel them, sense them. Remember them in every aspect of your being. The energy pulses again, pulling a bright blue, sky blue light up into the throat and neck area. This energy is even finer, brighter, lighter. The affirmation, I am truth. I am truth. And you suddenly feel like there is no resistance to hearing and receiving the truth, nor in speaking and expressing the truth. In knowing when you face the truth. And you release all things that are not true. You just let them go. You no longer wonder what's true and what's not. You know, and you trust that you know. The energy pulses again from Mother's heart, coming up into the third eye area, the Ajna chakra, there at the third eye, between the eyebrows above the nose. The color here is indigo, the deep purple blue midnight sky, the one we love to look at the stars with. And the affirmation here is I know, I connect, I know, and I connect. You suddenly feel the energy of what we love to call telepathy. The ability to connect with other people, animals, plants, other beings through what one might call psychic connection. But also not just telepathy, but telepathy. You feel them without taking on their stuff, but you feel them and perceive them and communicate with them as a whole. Opening this center, filling it with this vibration. There's one more pulse and it goes up through the top of the head, and just above the head, a bright white light. And the affirmation here is, I am one with all that is. I am one with all that is. And as you concentrate, perhaps with your inner eyes, looking through the portal of the crown chakra, the top of your head, you see that bright white light streaming down through the crown of the head, healing and balancing any imbalances there, or dis-ease or distress, easing any pain, relaxing you, flowing down through the tube of the spine until it meets the energy at the heart. Once more at the heart. And from this place, I would like for you to envision yourselves, all the people who are participating with us tonight, seated in a circle, holding hands. Feel the people next to you. Feel the people across from you. In this beautiful circle, the symbol of infinite love, of eternity. And feel the glow of all the energy culminating at the heart now. And see it as a glowing sphere or an orb of light and love. And if you will, send a smaller orb of that love out into your right chest area, into the right shoulder, down the right arm, and from your right hand into the left hand of the person seated to the right of you. See it go up their left hand, their left arm, their shoulder, their chest, and into their heart, and amplify their heart energy with yours. And then watch it as it leaves their body, going out the right side of their body, eventually traveling to the left hand of the person next to them, going up into their heart, amplifying their heart energy, now with all the energy from the two of you before. And again, moving around the circle, see it as it goes around to each person in the circle, growing, expanding, becoming brighter, larger, more powerful, pulsing with love, 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 the highest frequency that we know of is unconditional love. See it making its way around the circle. Feel it as it now comes into your left hand from the person seated to your left, up into your left arm, into your left shoulder, down the left side of your chest, and into your heart, exploding with amplified love, and then send it back around the circle. It goes faster now. And each time it hits a heart, it gets bigger, it gets stronger, it gets more powerful, it amplifies. Coming back to your heart, even more explosions of pleasure, love, and coherency with all the people you are practicing with. Becoming coherent is key, that we set the group intention for ourselves to make contact with each other and with the benevolent high frequency beings that we desire to commune with this evening. See that light circling faster and faster and faster now, becoming a ring of light. And see the ring of light begin to expand wider and higher, and going down to the earth and up above us. And then as one, let's send heart love from the centers of our heart as this ring of light surrounds us to the center of our circle. See it form a ball of light there as well, and then a tube of light going straight up and down from the ball into the center and forming a torus, like a giant double-ended funnel, open at the top, open at the bottom, and swirling all through us, around us, underneath us, going up the center, out the top, and back around. This toroidal field is one of the most sacred of all the geometric forms in the universe. It is the form that brings coherency. It brings protection. It maintains this high frequency state. It is now forming a conditioned space all around us, like a huge sphere surrounding us top to bottom, underneath us and around us and within us. There is nothing in this form now that can get through that is not coherent, that is not of the highest good. Only the highest level of energy can now be formed around us and through us. And it attracts higher level forms of energy as well. From this huge protective bubble of love and light, we now send a pillar of our light from the center out into the atmosphere. Because as most of you may know, there are hundreds of other groups doing this very thing at this very time all over the world. And as we send our group's pillar of light upward, it joins in the cosmic grid around the collective energy of our Earth planet. See this collective grid lighting up with the love of all of these thousands of people, protecting us, amplifying the love more and more, and sending out a signal now. Sending out a signal to our cosmic brothers and sisters. And as a group, now perfectly coherent, as one, we send our request. Please, please visit us. And visit us in an undeniable way. We invite you now, all peaceful, benevolent beings who wish to help us here on planet Earth, to heal ourselves, to help the planet heal, and to bring us into coherence with the rest of the cosmic neighborhood, to finally break free of the chains of illusion, of Maya, of negativity, of fear, and to live as all other beings live, in peace and harmony. And as an invitation, I now request that all of you begin to project from wherever you are your position on planet Earth. First, see yourself, perhaps see yourself out of your body. Just take a look there at where you are, seated or reclining. See yourself. And then rise up a little higher and see the area where you are located. Whether you're in a house or in a yard or in a park, see yourself. And then see that location. Constantly projecting this out in our pillar of light to our friends in the cosmos, any and all benevolent, peaceful, assistant, guide beings. Float higher now and see perhaps the city or county where you live or where you are now. Project that out. Like a holographic map, we are showing our friends where we are. As individuals and a collective, rise higher now and show the state. And then the country. And then the continent. And then your view of the hemisphere you are now residing in for this moment on Earth. Keep projecting this out into the cosmos and float higher so that as you do, you can see our star in the distance, the sun, and the other interplanetary objects, the planets that are closest to our star. See us all orbiting together around the center of our solar system. Go further out, past the rest of the planets, the asteroid belt, comets, other objects in our solar system. Keep projecting, inviting, going past our solar system and out into other galaxies. See our galaxy, the Milky Way. Pinpoint where our solar system, our Earth, is located in the outer arm of that galaxy. And then see yourself in relation to other galaxies, other star systems. Continuing to go out as far as you like, maybe even to the central galactic or universal sun. And as you do, make your request and your invitation once more. Please come visit. Let us have contact. Let us commune with one another in whatever way is best and safest for us all, whether that's visual, auditory, olfactory, sensate, whether it's telepathic. But let the contact be undeniable. We ask for assistance. We ask for guidance. We ask for connection. And then we invite them to follow us back down from wherever you are, quickly and easily and quietly. Find yourself coming back down through the universe, through the dimensions, through the galaxies, through the Milky Way, through our solar system, down through the atmosphere, back down to your location. And it is at this time I would invite you to stay deeply in meditation, whether you stay with eyes closed in the position you are in now, indoors or outdoors, or whether you stay in your meditative state, opening your eyes, looking around, or perhaps even going outdoors and looking up, looking around. Remember, contact doesn't just happen in the sky or just happen outside. Stay open. And we will take 25 minutes to explore in this meditative state and to just experience. I highly encourage you to stay off your devices. Don't check anything. Try not to speak with anyone unless it's a being who's come to visit, and just experience. If you happen to go away from your device or go outside, bring something that will allow you to know when it is 9:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those of you who stay connected to your device that we're speaking on now, I will call you back then. Continue to stay in your meditative state. Enjoy the contact journey, and we'll all come back together at 9:05 p.m. Central Time. Thank you. All right, looks like people are starting to come back. So for those of you within earshot, you might want to start coming back and getting into place, and we'll take a little bit of time to share what we experienced. And then I promise we'll take a tiny little comfort break too before we go back in the second part. Is everybody back? I can't tell because some people have their icons on. I'm going to unmute everybody. All right, is everyone back? I see some people are back. Carrie, I see you're back. Mendy might be the only person, I can't tell. Let's see if there's anybody else. Okay. Okay, well, wow. That was cool. It started before we even went outside, but I think what we'll do is, you know, because there's just a few of us tonight, I think we can be respectful, just, you know, one by one. Again, just take a couple of minutes and share anything that you have, that you've gotten. Let's see, Jennifer, you don't have video? You might click on your little video icon a couple of times and see if that comes back. But it's okay. We don't need video if you know, as long as you can hear. But well, Kelly, you started to have contact before we even went into meditation. Do you want to start and tell that experience just quickly?
We were starting up the meditation process, and of course, I feel like I halfway live in zone all the time anyway. But during the meditation, I just kind of went, and you know, I look out my window here a lot when I'm doing C5 alone at home. And there's like right outside this window, there's like a little overhang that I have over a back area. So it was just kind of right above. It was just a little flashy, and then in here, and we're hanging out and having fun and talking about all kinds of fun stuff. So we're
Cool.
enjoying ourselves.
That's lovely.
Lots of information's available, and just more understanding of and more seeing how the universe works, you know, and just seeing more of that and understanding more of that. It's absolutely wonderful.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just
it's just the nice, overwhelming sensation of peace and comfort.
cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. You know, we were talking earlier about how, you know, some of the technologies that we use to, or methods that we use to attract these beings in, one of them being mantra. And you, of course, you were doing the puja and you were reciting mantra within yourself or quietly. And you said it came in right after the puja. So, you know, it's like tuning, again, it's like tuning your radio to a certain frequency, isn't it?
Yes, but I feel like kind of like how in your car you have like the 1, the 2, the 3, you know, click on, and the station's already there. I feel like, especially for the, yeah, exactly. And I think that's something that the new people, I think, could benefit from, is like the more you do it, the easier it is. Like it just happens so much quicker each time. I think the first time for me, it took quite a while to make contact, the first time I did, but Now it's just, it can happen very rapidly. And I think the more it happens, it's just like having the preset. You push the button and you're there.
Yeah, it's good that you bring that up. That's actually kind of the second meditation, if we get enough time to do it, is going to help you program yourself to that state where you do hit that preset. And then you don't have to, if you're, you know, let's say you have a 5-minute break at something, you just want to go outside or you want to sit in meditation or something, you can get into that feeling state right away and you're attuned and you'll have contact, you'll have experiences if you're open to them. So
yes,
perfect timing for the segue. Thank you. All right. Did anyone else have an experience that they'd like to speak about? Rhonda?
I did. Of course, I woke up doing mantras and all kinds of stuff for over an hour. So I'm doing them tonight too, and that's perfectly fine. But I went outside and I said, of course, are you here? Because I do that every time I go outside.
Right.
Especially at night. Are you here? And I heard a bird and looked up and there was a mama bird and 3 baby birds flying behind her.
Oh.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's the same thing you see.
That is so cool. Because you don't usually see the baby birds flying with the mama.
No, you don't.
And how did that make you feel? This is something that's important to take note of when you do, you know, think you're having contact of some sort. How did you feel? What was your feeling?
Almost like, there was a contact. And, I mean, for a second you get excited, but because I do it all the time, like, are you here? Are you here? And I don't have my radio with me because it would go crazy with the computer. But so I didn't bring that out, which I usually do. But it's like, so I said, so that's you. You're here. And I just accept it.
So I don't know if you could hear that, the rest of you, but my radio's on. And when she was talking about the birds, it just started going crazy.
But birds are a sign.
Hi, Larissa. Yeah, hers is going too. So birds are usually a sign of visitation or contact. For me, it's owls. For other people, for other people, it could be something else. But it actually is just different for everybody. And it's different at different times, so it's not a big deal. But it's just fun, you know, to do that. So. And I'm going to mute everybody here. Kelly had something else to say. What do you want to say, Kelly?
I think it's funny that she spoke about the birds and you're talking about the owls, and we all have them. Anytime I go into a deep meditation or we have contact, little jerk face here comes running in the room.
Yeah, animals.
And he always, that's how I know, because he always wants to come and join in as well.
Animals are very sensitive. And
very.
So you, especially when you're doing contact work at home and you have pets, be aware, watch them, you know, or if they just instantly start coming in your room and hanging out when they weren't there before. The other thing I noticed with my pets, my dogs, is that they will be in a deep sleep and I'll be, you know, making an invitation, and suddenly one or both will sit up and just look in a different direction in the room than where I am. And if I look there, usually I'll get a confirmation. So
mine looks all around the room when I start. Are you here? Are you there?
Yeah.
And he will look all around the entire room.
Cool. Awesome. Matt wants to say something, so go ahead, Matt. I'll unmute you. Let's see. There you go.
So yeah, I didn't see anything, but all the dogs in my neighborhood started going crazy out of nowhere.
Awesome.
So including my neighbor's dog. My dog actually wasn't, but my neighbor's dog was just barking at a street with nobody on it for like 5 minutes. So,
awesome.
And then I've noticed when I meditate too, it seems like birds, like crowd around.
Yes.
I've noticed a couple times, like crazy, like, and I kind of wonder, like, am I just imagining things? Like, because sometimes I wonder, like, when I'm trying to learn this, am I just is it wishful thinking type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed that that is a really weird thing that happens.
Yeah, and don't feel bad. You know, everyone always asks that. Oh, am I just making this up? You know, we're constantly in denial of what is really happening. But as you continue on this work, you're going to find that it happens more and more often, and you'll get stronger and stronger confirmations. And then finally, and that's what this is all about, folks. Contact work is about trusting. It's about trusting that you have a much greater ability than you ever imagined to, you know, do these types of things. And you have all of these other gifts that maybe have been subdued or squelched, or even are just latent within you, and now they're getting switched on. Like Ray was talking about, you know, most of you probably didn't hear some of what he was saying at the beginning, but he just kind of got turned on a few years ago, and everything came in to his being, you know, from living like a regular everyday kind of guy to, oh my God, the whole wisdom of the universe is coming into me, and I'm having all of these experiences. I'm finding out I have all these gifts and everything. So it happens to everyone in different ways. But you know, don't feel bad for thinking that you might have made that up or that it was wishful thinking. But I'm here to tell you, undeniably, no, you're not. And every time you get an inclination that something different is happening than usually does, like all the dogs in your neighborhood barking when there's nothing there, that's what I would call a hit of contact. It's a sign. It's almost like they're so sensitive to how we are as far as fear-based beings and you know, immature little baby souls down here, or whatever we are to them, that they don't want to intrude in your space. They don't want to make you feel unsafe. They don't want to make you fearful. So they do it in subtle ways at first, like the birds, like your cat, like those dogs. Like suddenly you're outside and there's, you know, complete darkness, and then suddenly there are thousands of fireflies all at once. Well, that just isn't, you know, that's not normal. And it's communication. So cool. Thank you. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No,
Okay.
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
Oh, wait, actually, I just thought of one other thing.
Okay.
I'm reading a book called The Fun of Dying by Roberta Grimes. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but it's pretty interesting. So
Cool.
it's kind of, it's basically about like, you know, going into the next realm or whatever. And it's quantum physics and stuff. And she studied all these, she went back at like 200 years of records of communicating with the dead. Mm-hmm. And she found all these commonalities, and basically she spent like 10 years writing this book. So I just came across it and ordered it. It's blown my mind. So I just didn't know if anybody here had heard of it, but yeah, it's pretty
I haven't heard of it, but would you post that on our page so that we can all be aware of it and explore that? There's another book by Michael Singer. I think it's called Journey of the Soul. I can't remember the title, but I'll post that too. It's very similar. He did a research for many, many years with his counseling clients who had near-death experiences. And wow. It's very eye-opening. It's really cool. So, and yeah, and several of us in this group do quantum hypnosis, and you know, I've been doing this work for over 40 years, and I've had 2 near-death experiences, and I can tell you there is no death. There's just not. And every, you know, we can go into any frequency of our being, any aspect, any lifetime, and pull that information anytime we want, and it's all relevant, and it's all the, you know, everybody is telling the same story, And so why we have been programmed to fear death in this particular life form, I don't know, other than it's a real easy way to control the masses, you know, if you keep them afraid. But the more that we explore these things, such as the book you're talking about, and contact work in general, it helps us to trust that we're way more than we think we are, that we are unlimited and infinite beings who pretty much are, you know, we're very powerful and we can overcome anything. So it's a very hopeful, I mean, it's a hope-filled way of life. And so thanks for sharing that. And if you'll post that on our group page, I would love that. So, because I'd like to order that too. Mendy, Mindy's got her hand raised, so she wants to say something. Mendy, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to touch again on the animals, because just now while I was outside meditating, my neighbor's cat, it always comes over and, well, it'll try to get in my door while I'm sitting inside. So I try to sit outside with it and love it. And but it was a couple nights ago where I was trying to make contact and the cat hadn't come over yet. And I was like, if there are any signs that you want to let me know, that don't scare me, because I tend to get like a little worried about things. And so I hear this like squeaking sound, and I was just like, what is that? It's like a little squeak, 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 squeak. And then I see the cat coming over, and it has like a half dead mouse in its mouth. And I was like, oh no, oh dear, that's not what I was needing. And it was like, here, I got this for you. Don't you want this? Don't you love dead mice? And I was like, oh my goodness. But it just kind of seemed like ritualistic for the cat to even know that it was like, this is what I do now to bring this to you, right? And I was just like, oh boy.
The cat's puja.
Right. It was really, it was kind of like overwhelming, but really like a powerful sign. And also, while I was sitting out this evening, I had a gigantic bumblebee that kept bumping into next to my house and bumping into the window all around my head. And I finally looked at the cat because it came over. I was like, can't you do something about this? Can't you help me with this bug? And it was just like, oh, yawning. It was all not interested in helping with that. So
again, fascinating, because you know, bees are usually asleep by now.
Right. It was definitely coming over to try to find me, and I was trying to protect myself from its chaotic energy. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you. Again, you know, contact isn't just a flying saucer in the sky.
Right.
It comes in subtle ways that will attract your attention in the vibration that you are putting out. So that's great. Thank you so much.
I definitely feel the newness of it also. Like, I feel that the longer I work on honing my skills and like actually taking it seriously and creating a ritual around the routine of getting ready for it and initiating the protocol, that it'll become more comfortable, or things like that won't seem so, like, I just laugh. Usually I get like kind of hysterical with myself in recognizing things. I'm just like, oh, this is so, it's so like silly almost, that I try to deny it, and then it's just so exactly like what I needed to see to kind of like shake me awake or teach me something. So, and also thank you for the meditation, because I feel like that really helps to heighten the experience of having everybody in community and doing that. So yeah, thank you all for being part of this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that meditation is just a kind of an offshoot of one of Greer's main things that he does, which he calls coherent thought sequencing. It's actually, he calls it vectoring them in. It's, you know, first becoming coherent with the group, getting yourselves all in the same or similar frequency, and then projecting out that interactive holographic map to whoever wants to come visit where you are. You know, the more I explore this over the years, the more I can just, I mean, they know where we are anyway, but it's more for your brain to get attuned to them doing that process than for them to try to find you. They know where you are. They're constantly in, you know. So anyway, Was there anybody else who wanted to share? I had an experience too, but I want to wait till the end. Ray, go ahead. It's all yours, Ray. Oh, go.
So if somebody else wants to share first, they can go ahead.
It's your turn. Go ahead.
Else.
It's your turn. Go ahead.
So I will stop my video in hopes of not making the
Yeah, we're still losing you. That's so crazy. Totally lost you. Shucks. I'm gonna turn. Go ahead.
So apparently when I stop the video, it doesn't help. It hurts. So
Okay.
I froze up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, it's
Okay.
odd.
I'm not gonna stop my video again, and
Yeah.
hopefully this will keep streaming. Okay, this is just weird. But anyway, I did the process in reverse, and so they reached out to me, and where I ended up was on this ship. So if you remember the beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey, that space station had the two rings or the two sets of spokes, whatever. This was only one set of spokes and one ring, but it was just gigantic. And so these people had to flee their sun because it started to cool down, and everything was going to freeze on their planet. So they're finding another home, and so they're partway in the journey. And so I'm there, and I'm talking to them, and there's only 5 crew members actually awake, tending to everything. So there are many, many, many spokes that go from the center hub down to the ring, and that's where most of their pods are, where the people are in suspended animation, because you can fit tons of people on these huge spokes. And then the lower rings around the whole thing is where they have their equipment and their supplies, and they have hydroponics and stuff. And as they're raising the food, they're storing it off and doing whatever to preserve it. So when they get to where they're going, they have enough stored up so that people have stuff to eat. But anyway, so it's a good thing you can talk to them telepathically, because in the back of my awareness, they were actually sort of like trilling and stuff and click. So anyway, that wouldn't have worked. But anyway, so it's all telepathic. But anyway, that was just mind-blowing. And so they're out here on the rim of the Milky Way. They're further in, so they have more stars and planets to choose from, which is good for them. And I asked them, why did they invite me, to them? Why were they louder than, the other folks? They invited me, and they said they were lonely. Just reach out. Their planet, as far as I could tell, was Panaka. So if that helps reaching out to them and trying to find them, saying, hey, I want to come meet you and, visit with them. So in a nutshell, that was it. So
I love it. I love that so much. Thank you. And I have, Ray and I visited for almost an hour today earlier to do a sound check for the drum. And we had no problems at all on either end of our stuff. And both of us are having sound problems tonight and video problems. So I don't know. Sometimes the energy is just so high when we get together that it causes our technology to kind of go on the fritz. And so it's all good, right? It's all good. Larissa, I saw that you came in. I didn't know if you went and did a contact or if you were here for the meditation, but I wanted to say hi. And everybody, that's Larissa. Did you want to say something real quick before we, okay. Okay, so Carrie, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I kind of went out as I usually do during your meditations, and when I came to, this house was so hot I could not stand it. I had to get up and turn on a fan, and before I went out, I do remember hearing breathing in the room. That wasn't my dog's. You might hear a dog breathing, panting right now because he's still kind of hot. I went back to normal temperature, and now I've got a blanket on. But the other night, I was out sitting, and I asked for a sign, and I was sitting on my covered front porch, and was staring out into the woods, and all of a sudden I saw this light, and it was too low to be an airplane and too high above the trees to be a lightning bug. And I squinted, and I had my glasses on, and I squinted, and I really couldn't tell what it was, and it went away. And then the next time I saw it, it was further into the trees. And anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's real interesting. I'm pretty sure you made contact with someone, you know, and again, it doesn't matter what you label it. I know that you have a lot of contact with, you know, spiritual beings, and but that's just kind of an undeniable thing, right? It's not something you see every day happen.
Right.
And then of course the temperature change in your house, that's another thing. We talked about temperature changes earlier. Often those of you who've been in circle with us before out in the field, you know, a lot of the times we do this in the summer, like it'll be August, it's still really hot, and we're all sitting there, and suddenly inside the circle it'll get cold. Or it'll be just like, you know, have you ever stepped into a cold current in the river, and you feel the temperature change? Or we'll be freezing to death outside in the middle of winter, because sometimes we're crazy that way, and all of a sudden we're all just get this warm fuzzy feeling, you know. And so that's kind of undeniable, because, you know, a meteorologist will tell you it can happen, but it doesn't happen in little tiny, you know, swaths like that. It happens in a general area, you know, like a city or something. So, so cool. Well, thank you. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
No, thanks.
Okay, well, thanks. I'll just be real quick. Number one, I apologize, because other than Jennifer Booker, who may have had to leave already, I can't tell. You know, we're in Kansas City, most of us. And when we went outside, it was still pretty light outside. So I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. We'll still look, you know. And I was, you know, just kind of staying in my meditative state. I walked around just a little bit, because I know better than to just look at the sky. And the first thing I noticed was on the ground, there were thousands of what I thought were little white flowers that weren't there a couple hours ago in the grass. And I'm like, oh, did that just all pop up in the last 2 hours? And then I looked, I got closer, I got on my knees and got down the ground, and they were tiny little lights, like you would sprinkle little white Christmas lights all over the ground. And when I went to touch one, it wasn't there. And they were just all over the ground. And then when I finally got over my amazement about that, then it was gone. And so that was one thing. And then I decided to go sit out. I have my CE5 chair out on my patio right now. And so I went and sat, and it's still too light to see any stars, but I just looked up. And instantly, where I looked up, there was a star. And I thought, wow, that's cool. And it's still awfully light out to be seeing a star, and I'm not sure I know what that is. But I just watched it for a while, and I stayed in my meditative state, let my eyes stay really relaxed, and I just watched it for a while. And I just sent, the invitation and the message, is that you? I think someone else was saying that, maybe Rhonda was saying that earlier. Is that you, or are you here? And it got really bright. The little light, the star, got really bright. And I stayed calm. And then I saw little points of light going in and out all around it, like little lights dancing around the star. And it was starting, because they were flashing so fast, you know how it kind of leaves little tracers. It started making almost a geometric shape around this star. And then I noticed, and guys forgive me because I don't want to bring this up, but what it looked like was the star in the center and all of these lights. It looked like the picture of the coronavirus, only made out of lights. Because the coronavirus is like a ball, and it's got all these little things coming off it, little spikes with little things on the end. And that's what it looked like. And I'm like, of all the things to show me, why are you doing this? It was so beautiful when I was looking at it. I'm like, why that? And immediately the message came into my head. We want to show you that everything is not, let's see, how did it came? I have to say it the way it came. Nothing is the way you think it is. And we want to tell you to have no fear. And I said, well, there's a lot of fear associated with the symbol you're showing me. And there's a lot of suffering going on because of that. And they said, suffering is in the eye of the beholder. And the people who you think are suffering, and especially the ones who are letting go of their earth life right now because of the association with this symbol, it's all their choice, and it's all part of a bigger picture that has a beautiful outcome. So don't be afraid. And they just kept saying, don't be afraid, and don't believe everything you see is the same as what you think it is. And that was it. And then all of the little geometric shape things went away, and the star started moving down towards the horizon. Now this was almost the full 25 minutes that I was out there. It was there for like 15, 20 minutes in the same spot, all this stuff going around, and then it just started going down towards the horizon, and it got almost to the tops of the trees, and all the trees went into negative. Like do you remember looking at a film back in the days when we used film, and it was the negative? So the trees are starting to get to be dark shapes against the lighter colored sky, and they went light and the sky went dark. And then everything turned back to normal. It was time to come in. So that was a weird experience, and I don't really know what all it means, and I'm still processing, but I guess I was supposed to just give you the message not to be afraid, and also to not take for granted that everything you think you know about anything is the full picture. So I think I had some contact. Oh, by the way, I took my phone out there just because I set the timer so I would come back in and have you all come back. And because the phone was out there, I turned it on my Sky Guide, or I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Sky Guide, and put it up where that star was, and there was no star. There's no star there, so it wasn't a star, but it was there for 15 or 20 minutes before it moved. So that was my experience. for what it's worth. So does anyone need to take like a tiny little bathroom break or anything before we go into one more little contact thing? Everybody okay? You ready to go back into it? It's 9:39 right now, and I think, yeah, I think we still have time. I don't know, Ray, I don't know if you want to play another couple of minutes on the drum, or if someone wants to offer a mantra. Do you want to play the drum? Okay, all right. So let's let Ray play his drum another couple of minutes and get us back into that brainwave state. And then we're going to do a super quick little trick to get you to hit your preset, as Kelly was saying earlier, so that you can go into contact mode easily. And I'll do a quick little meditation, then we'll have another contact experience, and then we'll share, and then we'll be finished, okay? So everybody get comfy, and Ray, you are good to go.
And because there's this weirdness of stopping my video and then I freeze, I won't stop my video and we'll hope this works. So go back into your heart centers again, just settle down and relax and recall that feeling of love in whatever situation, petting a horse or a cat or a dog, and just let the love well up.
And then very gently allow yourselves to begin the return process from wherever you journeyed to, whomever you made contact with. Allow yourself to bid farewell, but know that you can return at any time. Just simply by hitting your preset button, getting into the feeling state of coherency, setting your intention, and feeling your light ship take up and out of your body, taking your consciousness with you on a journey through time, space, the cosmos, wherever, to meet up with other people, other beings, other civilizations, to commune, to share information, to enjoy each other. But for now, it's time to come back. And so gently begin to bring yourself back to the body. No jolting or jarring, just let yourself, again at the speed of consciousness, but ever so softly and gently diffuse yourself back into your body. It's like putting on a spacesuit. To come back into the earth environment, to get back in resonant frequency with the earth. And as you put on this spacesuit, this human body again, notice how beautiful it is, how lovely it feels to be human. Take note that it might feel a little more pleasant than it did before, a little more balanced, a little more energized, a little more evolved. And once you're completely in, begin to take note of how it feels to be in the gravitational embrace of Mother Earth, to feel the air on your skin, to feel your heart beating once again, your lungs breathing. Take a deep breath in, breathe in the free air of Earth. And as you exhale, allow yourself to become conscious of your fingers and toes, wiggling them, maybe stretching, yawning, blinking your eyes, and finally coming all the way back, fully grounded, fully remembering everything that you experienced, trusting your experiences, and ready to enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your weekend, the rest of your life. Namaste. Okay, so as you all start to return, it's okay to turn on your video. We've had a few people had to leave, so I'm not really sure what happened there. When I came back, I noticed that I was muted, so I don't even know if you all heard the meditation or not. I don't know when I became muted. You didn't hear it, Ray? Why don't you guys, here, I'm going to unmute all of you and we can just have a discussion. Let's see, unmute.
So you were recording, so did it record your voice through the microphone, so at least it'll be on the recording?
I don't know. So you didn't hear any of it?
Nothing. Not after I switched off my mic and stopped the drum.
Wow.
There was some hopping every now and again, but not
Yeah, I was watching your settings here, and you were muted the whole time.
Wow.
I thought you were going to do a meditation, and I thought, oop, I don't know what's going on. So
That is
Yeah, I didn't hear it either.
bizarre.
Yeah, Debz, this is Carrie. I thought I lost you all. I didn't hear anything after the drumming.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought I lost Rhonda.
Well, I guess
And my video isn't working, but that's okay.
oh, that's okay. I guess whatever, you know, really what I did was I led you through the second meditation, which I didn't even tell Ray I was going to do, was a guided out of body meditation, and having you travel
the
in your
powers that be, the CIA, the NRO, the DIA, they're just
somebody
trying to
does not
squash
want
it.
us to do this. I know. How weird is that? Yeah, so I guess I'll share that with you another time, or let Ray share it with you. But basically, you know, we're all coherent, and so we stayed connected, and we each had our own little experience. Does anybody want to share any experience they had other than the frustration that you couldn't hear the meditation?
Well, I never left out there. So
Good.
I stayed there through our sharing and stuff. And anyway, so I was still there, and then I popped out for a little bit, and then sent out pulses, you know, of energy saying, hey, here I am, valiant Thor. If you got time, you know, here I am. And so he popped in, and I went on there, and he said, welcome, young one. He calls me young one.
That's cool.
Anyway, so I said, hey, you know, there's this ship here, and I said, is there any way, you know, maybe you could watch out for him, whatever? And he said, oh yeah, we've got him on our radar. And he kind of, you know, tapped me on the shoulder and said, get it, radar.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he said, yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. He's got a great sense of humor. Anyway, and I asked him, are they going to be okay? And he said they're going to be okay.
Awesome.
Anyway, that's it.
So that civilization that you were meeting with before is going to be okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Thank you, Ray. That's awesome. Anybody else have an experience that they want to share?
Well, Debz, this is Carrie. I think I find it kind of interesting that you know, I was distracted because I thought I had lost you because I can't see what's going on by just being on the phone. So I kept trying to dial back in, and you know, I wrote you a note and said that a similar thing happened the second half of the meditation last week. All of a sudden, I heard this door slam, and it jerked me out of the meditation, and I couldn't get back into it. And so, you know, a similar thing happened tonight, you know, the second half of the meditation, that I just couldn't get back in.
Wow.
Because I was kind of jerked out and distracted because I couldn't hear anything. I could see my clock was still going, you know, like I was still connected, but it was just quiet. So I thought, wow, that's weird. And so I dialed in 3 times. I took my dogs outside, hoping that you couldn't hear me because I had myself muted, and came back in. And then that's all of a sudden when you came back on, and you were guiding people back on. And I thought, well, it was a glitch on my end, but evidently it was a glitch in the universe, kind of like it was last week.
Yep. So weird. I don't think that's ever happened. But what I think is odd is that I said, thank you, Ray, namaste, and I went right into the guided meditation, and it was leading you, you know, into forming your light ship in your heart, coming out of phase with your body, letting your body be asleep, your mind awake, and traveling to them, to whoever you wanted to go visit. And the whole time I was muted, and I hadn't touched it. I mean, I didn't touch it. And then when I came back, I went to turn my video back on to call you all back, and I noticed all of us were muted, myself included. And I'm like, when did that happen? And obviously I got muted as soon as I started talking. So I apologize, but who knows? You know, the message I got was don't be afraid and don't believe everything you see is what you think it is. So it is what
We'll
it
have
is.
to collectively shake our fingers at the NRO.
I have no idea what's happening. But I have never had so many weird things happen with my equipment, for one thing, after having used it perfectly all day long. It's so weird. So anybody else want to talk?
When after the bell ringing, bowls, the metal ringing, I went ahead and took the opportunity to put myself in deeper, and it went psychedelic, cosmic.
Cool.
Everything was in flashy greens on a black background ish. It was, but as things would take shape, and the three shapes that I noticed, well, four shapes was one, the heart, an eagle, a dragon, and the DNA double helix.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
Super cool. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah,
how did it make you feel?
Like they were answers that you know, how the universe speaks in riddles. Here's your answers, figure it out.
Yeah. Here's your next clue.
Mm-hmm.
Happy day. I love that though. It's like when you were just telling it to us, I could see it. It was, you know, it was just like streaming in. So that's really interesting. Well, thanks, Larissa. And thanks for being here. I love that.
Yeah.
Yay. And Kelly had to leave a little while ago, guys, just so I can, you'll see it in the chat. I just looked, but she had to leave. So, and Jennifer had to leave. Anybody else have anything they want to share? How do you all feel right now?
Good.
Relaxed.
Peaceful? Good. Okay, relaxed. Excellent.
Happy?
Yeah, I feel really happy. I feel really joyful right now, despite all the weird technical weirdness. It is what it is.
I feel more calm, peaceful, more alert and purposeful. But at this point, I don't know what direction I'm supposed to be going in. But yeah, I feel like I'm going in a direction.
That's awesome.
When you saw me look over, I just saw a flash of light off to my left. That was cool.
That's very cool. That's the one thing I wanted to share is that as soon as I stopped the guided meditation, we went into a silent journey like we did before. And I saw, it was almost like an arc, an electrical arc, you know, like if you see a wire that's arcing or something like that. But it was this bright, almost teal blue color. And it was just right in front of me, like took up my whole vision space. But it was the brightest teal blue. I've never seen this color in my human vision before. And then there were all these little specks of that color going in and out before I went on my little journey. And I can't remember the rest, which is very odd for me. But it's just something I thought I would share because it was, an anomaly. It was just something I've never seen. And it was like here in my physical space. So coolness again. Well, I just want to say thanks to everybody. It's about time that I promised I would get off of here. And I do want to invite all of you, any of you who wishes to join the California group. It's in the comment section in the event thing on our page, but it's also posted in our Facebook group page by Melissa Bright. Melissa and Ian Bright do this every month in California, but they're starting at 11:30 our time, not 10:30 our time. So you've got a little bit of time to, you know, go do your thing or whatever, or you can just go out under the stars if you want to now and have continue your experience. But what they do is they have a Gen 3 night scope that they attach to their camera, and they actually do a sky watch live over YouTube Live, and you can chat and discuss and so forth. The bad thing is, you know, in the last couple of times they've done it, they have hardly any signal out there too. And so there's a lot of freezing up like we experienced with Ray tonight and everything. They said that they thought that they had the signal boosted out there this time, but so if you want to join, go ahead and join. I don't know if I'll be able to tonight or not, but if I can, I'll stop in and say hi. But they're a really great group of people. Costa McCrease, one of my good friends and mentors, will be there as well as a lot of people from all over the world. You'll make some cool new friends over the chat from all over the world if you want to join that. And you'll see there's always cool stuff to see in the sky with that night vision camera. So it'll be like we were out under the stars together, you know, like what we experienced. Or you can just stay coherent. We'll get off the Zoom, go outside and see what you can see tonight, and then post it tomorrow on our page. Okay.
I never heard back from my my friend about what he thinks he remembers experiencing last night when we did that buddy travel. So I guess I'll try it again tonight and then ask him tomorrow.
That's a great idea. And Ray, as soon as we can get these sound issues figured out, I really do hope you'll do that OBE experience class or whatever you want to do, and invite all of us, because it's really cool stuff. So having said that, everybody, thank you so much, and thanks for putting up with all the craziness tonight. It's always an adventure. Thanks again to the new people for being brave enough to join us, and for the veterans for being patient enough with all the rest of us tonight. And I love you all. And I'm really excited to kind of go back and look at the recording and see if that meditation recorded or if it was just dead air. That's pretty wild. So the other thing I will say is pay attention if you ever do want to go back and look at the recording. I always look at them, and sometimes we find other anomalies that show up in the video or the sound that we weren't aware of when we were together. So that might be fun too. I'm going to go back and see, maybe you'll see something too, like orbs or sound artifacts and all kinds of stuff shows up in these videos. So, all right,
yeah,
everyone.
maybe during the drumming, we'll hear some sounds of popcorn popping as the ETs are watching us, you know, like
maybe so. Who knows?
Hey, that's not funny. I heard that. I thought it was like somebody's mic popping.
Oh, yeah, no, it was.
Yeah,
that was the popcorn.
I heard it. I heard it in my headphones.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it just sounded like somebody hitting their mic or the mic.
We were all muted.
Here I was joking.
You were thinking you were making a joke, but it wasn't a joke.
I was joking, but then, you know, somebody hears popcorn.
Yeah, how funny.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you again for joining us tonight. I love you all. I'm so grateful and so happy that we could be together, at least this way, and hopefully we'll get to be together soon in person. And I just encourage you to, you know, keep experiencing. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Deb.
In Lak'ech, namaste. Love you much.
Namaste.
Stay dry out there.
Thanks to the volunteers tonight. Thanks, Ray, for the music, and I'm still recording, so
Thank
thanks,
you.
Kelly, for the puja. Bye.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.